Hi everyone, my name is Rachel and welcome to the French Seams. Thank you very much for joining me for this week's Friday Sews video, which is where I'll talk about what I have been sewing, what I will be sewing and a little bit of life as well. So as always, a huge thank you to Jen from Today in Jen Sewing Room for that fabulous hashtag. So this week has been jam-packed. It really has, and I'm really looking forward to catching up on what I've been up to this week. This week on the vlog I put out a Friday Sews video last week, which is a little bit late, but never mind. I also put out a little autumn vlog, so it was basically my autumn pattern recommendations. Most of them I've made before, which I think are perfect for autumn, and then a couple that I would like to make this season as well. So if you haven't had a chance to catch those two videos, I'll link them of course in the description box below. This week something very exciting happened. I reached 8,000 subscribers. So thank you very much to each and every one of you who subscribe, who come back week after week to watch my videos, who click the like button, who leave me a lovely comment. I really do appreciate it. And I say it all the time, I love making these videos, and it makes me very happy when people enjoy them as well. And I just want to say a massive thank you. 8,000 seems like a number I would never ever get to, and it means an awful lot to me. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. Thank you. So that was my week here over on YouTube. I might actually mention what I'm wearing right now because it will impact a later video. So today I am wearing a combination of the Waves and Wild Hot Coffee hoodie and one of my favourite all-time patterns, the Hug hoodie. And it's in this fabulous sweatshirting fabric that I got from Bornella Fabrics when I was at the Stitch Festival back in March. So it's kind of a leopard printy from far away, but then once you get closer it's actually these little ladies, and I absolutely love it. I contrasted with this cotton jersey which I got from Crafty Studio, so it's got a lovely big hood that crosses over, which I love. It's got cuffs. Didn't put on thumb cuffs, I might go back and change it. And then at the hem it's got this lovely crossover. So it's got this little detail here. I put a little Bornella Fabrics label as well. No, Studio 77, apologies. This little crossover. So I really love this sweatshirt, and if you love the Hug hoodie sweatshirt, then I'm afraid it's gone out of print. But a very good alternative, which I learned from a lovely vlogger on our vlogging tour with Sophie Nick September, is the Peekaboo Patterns Pemberley pullover, and I'll pop a picture of it here. They're very similar. So the reason I'm wearing this today is that I am going to be wearing 10 sweatshirts in 10 days. So that's going to be a vlog that's going to come out in a number of days. I'm midway through filming. Earlier in the summer I filmed a vlog about 10 days, 10 dresses, which I really enjoyed, and I think you guys enjoyed too. So I thought, given the autumnal colours outside as I'm looking outside the window, I thought it'd be fun to do 10 sweatshirts, sweaters, jumpers, hoodies, whatever you like, in 10 days. So that vlog will be coming to you very soon. So make sure you're subscribed and you'll get a notification when that goes live. So this is the reason I'm wearing this today. It's not the only reason. I absolutely love this sweatshirt. So that is that. So what have I been getting up to this week? It's been very busy. So you may have noticed, or may not, I finally got my hair done. Very excited. It kind of is fine for a little while, and then suddenly you're like, oh dear, I need to start wearing hairbands. But I did go and get my hair cut and coloured from my wonderful hairdresser, who is just an utter genius. So I'm very happy with that. So hopefully I'll get another 6 months after that. We'll see. I should go more regularly. I really should. So that was very exciting, in my world at least. So another thing that I did this week, and I went with my wonderful friend Anna. She is Missy Moselle over on Instagram. For months we've been trying to get to an exhibition that's in IMA, which is the Irish Museum of Modern Art, and it is a quilt exhibition, and it's running, I thought it was running until the end of October, but in filming this I've now checked and I think they've extended it. It's now until the start of November. So if you're close to Dublin or not so close to Dublin, I would highly recommend this exhibition, and it's a free exhibition. The IMA is just a wonderful, marvellous building anyway. So it is a quilt exhibition, and I'm going to read it because I want to do it justice. It's called Kith and Kin. The Quilts of Gee's Bend is a group exhibition featuring the work of African-American women from a small Alabama community whose work have become symbols of Black empowerment and cultural pride. This stunning collection of textile work celebrates African-American culture and heritage, and it just looked marvellous, and I really wanted to educate myself a bit more and go and see these beautiful quilts. So myself and Anna have been planning this for months and months. Eventually we got to go last weekend, and it was just fabulous. It's quite a small exhibition, so I'll pop in a few pictures here of the pictures I took. I got permission to take pictures. It was a small exhibition, but they are just beautiful. And it's sometimes kind of a mother-daughter combo, sometimes just one woman doing it. They're pretty much all from fabrics from clothes or from something else, so real kind of sustainable features them. They're just beautiful. Some have kind of traditional blocks to them, some are just completely free blocks, which are just gorgeous, and the range of colours and the range of textures is just marvellous. They all are of course hand quilted as well, and they were just beautiful. So we spent a long time walking around admiring those. There are some utterly beautiful ones. There was one that was entirely made of denim, which you didn't notice until you got really, really close. And then there was one in kind of a velvety fabric, which is beautiful, and they were just gorgeous. They really were. And then there was a little room where you could go watch a little video of the women as well, which was wonderful. So it showed them working and the kind of area they come from and how they started, how they learned. It was really, really interesting. So we had a great, great time there. So I would highly recommend it to go and view that before it leaves. My one small complaint is most of the quilts, apart from one, were hung next to a wall and you weren't allowed to touch them. But of course the backing is so beautiful, and the backing of course is all hand done, and some of them had inscriptions and labels and all that good stuff, and they didn't show the back of most of them, which I thought was a bit sad. They did say health and safety and having to set up all this, that and the other, which I totally understand, but it would of course be beautiful to admire these quilts in a full 360 view. But that didn't detract from the exhibition at all. It was utterly fabulous. So if you do have an opportunity to go, I would highly, highly recommend it, and of course I'll link everything down below. I caught up with Anna again a few days later. It was a great weekend, it really was. If you cast your minds back to, and I think this started about Christmas 2 years ago, I went to a Mosaic class with my lovely friend, and I made a beautiful holly leaf tray, and I'll see if I'm hoping I can find a picture of it. I'll pop it up here because I have mentioned it on the vlog a few times. And it's with a wonderful lady in Dublin called Fia, and she runs a little mosaic class called Fia Mosaic, and I'll link it down below. I'll link her website and I'll link her Instagram account. She makes the most beautiful mosaics, absolutely stunning mosaics, and you can go for a class. You would not believe how much you get done in one of these classes. It's unbelievable. So you cut the tiles and then you stick them to a board, whatever shape you want. She provides tea and coffee and the most amazing chocolate chip cookies. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous way to spend an afternoon. So you could do it with friends. You could do it, say, your mum and your aunties, your sisters. You could do it as a little birthday party celebration. It's just a gorgeous way to spend a day. So I did that with a friend of mine 2 years ago. Older French Seams saw that and thought that that was something he might like to do, and they do a parent and child class, which is wonderful. So we did that last year with Anna, her daughter, and our other friend Anne-Marie, which was wonderful. And I'll show you what we made Christmas last year. And Older French Seams made this, which is a little reindeer, but it's a very famous reindeer if you look at his nose, and he just loved doing this last Christmas. He has not stopped talking about this mosaic class. He really, really enjoyed it. And he said to me a few months ago, because it's October and his birthday is in October, could he do a mosaic class for his birthday? So I said, yes, of course he could. So we planned again. It was myself and Older French Seams and Anna and her lovely daughter. And we went out to Fia to do this half-day mosaic workshop. So it's 3 hours with children. It's 3 hours usually as well. So in the children's class, you get to make your mosaic, but the adults obviously cut the tiles. So myself and Anna were there cutting the tiles away into little shapes, and then the children were putting on the glue and putting on the mosaics onto the tiles, which was wonderful. So Older French Seams made this, and I have actually grouted these since. So you make them on the day of the class, you let the glue dry, and she sends you home with everything you need to grout it, which takes a couple of days. So I've now done that. If you've been watching my channel, you know that Older French Seams is going through a massive shark phase. So he wanted to make a shark and a pumpkin, and this is what we came up with. So if I can get the light not to shine. So beautiful kind of alternate colours around the outside. They're all glittery as well. And then it's a little shark and he's got a little pumpkin on his head, which is adorable. So we did this all in the class. The difference in their concentration between Christmas and now is unbelievable. They had much more staying power this time around. So we finished off this. So then we thought we may as well do another one, and might have been slightly influenced by me, but we did a little bee. And how cute is he? And it's got a little moth down here as well, and a little sunshine, and these are just adorable. So we did all the tiling there, and then I did the grouting then over the next few days, and they just came out beautifully, and it's just such a lovely, lovely way to spend a day. So again, if you're local or not so local to Dublin, I would highly, highly recommend Fia's classes, and I'll link everything down below. At that Mosaic class, I had made older French seams some things to wear. So I didn't actually make these, but I embellished them with my Cricut. So if you remember, when my boys have birthdays, I kind of make them little birthday t-shirts, birthday hoodies, that kind of thing. Sometimes they get a full garment made from start to finish. Other times I just Cricut a ready-made garment, which is what I did this time around. So he gets a little t-shirt because he turns 7 in October, so it's his 7th birthday. Apologies for the shine. And it's a mosaic shark because he's been talking about the mosaics and talking about sharks constantly. So he gets a little mosaic shark on his t-shirt, which is lovely. And then because it's Ireland, he needs a jumper, and he gets a hoodie as well. So I just bought the t-shirt and the hoodie at a local department store, and then just used my Cricut to put 7th birthday and a little mosaic shark, which is adorable. I have a Cricut Joy, which Mr. French Seams very, very kindly gave me about 2-3 years ago for my birthday, and I love it. I mainly use it for card cutting and for doing iron-on transfers as well, so I loved doing them, and he enjoys wearing them. He still has the 6th birthday hoodie I made him last year, and I've been told that he's only going to wear that for another few days. He thinks it's not appropriate to wear that one anymore, and that's going to be put away for baby French seams. So that was our fantastic weekend. Another thing I did this weekend, I went to a Lego convention. So that was being held in Dublin. And if you cast your minds back, I can't remember, was it Patrick's Day or Easter this year, but we all went to a Lego convention and my 2 boys loved it. It was then in Dublin, so we went to that and the boys absolutely adored it. There was Lego colouring, there was characters walking around, there was speed building competitions, there was kind of a stop motion Lego thing, there was literally brick pits everywhere that you could just sit in and build whatever you liked. The 2 boys had to be dragged away. It was just fabulous. They had exhibitions of submissions that people had sent into the convention. Some of them were just spectacular. There was one in particular, it was the La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, which I've been to a number of times, but they built that in Lego. It was just spectacular. So if you do have a brick con or a Lego con or whatever close to you, I would highly encourage that as well, because it's a great way to spend an afternoon. So that was my week, which has been pretty busy. So getting back to the sewing, and thank you for sticking with me. There was an awful lot of life going on in this Friday Sews. Getting back to the sewing. If you will cast your minds back to a number of weeks ago where I shared that I had made a bag, and I made this Keeley bum bag. I know I'm talking about an awful lot. So Keeley bum bag, a fully lined, beautiful crossbody bag as I wear it, with beautiful webbing, and the pattern has a little welt pocket at the back, beautiful construction, and it comes with a little pattern for a purse as well. So I made this a number of weeks ago and I loved it. The reason I made that, which I hadn't alluded to before this, was that was basically a trial. Can you call it a toile if it's a bag? Hopefully you can. I wanted to test that pattern out. If you can cast your minds back to a vlog, I think very early this year, I made mention of the fact that myself and a group of very lovely sewists here in Dublin were working on a few memory quilts. And they were in memory of a very lovely member of our sewing community who we sadly lost last year. His name was Alfredo. So he had quite a large fabric stash, so we're using a lot of that fabric to make those quilts. And then a lot of his fabric was put into bundles and given to various sewists here and there, and to raise money to do the long arming of that quilt when the time came. And I was very grateful to receive one of those packs of his beautiful fabric, and I made this gorgeous bag, which I just love. So work is ongoing on that, and hopefully we should be finished very soon. But along with that fabric, there was also a jacket of Alfredo's. It was a beautiful leather jacket that he used to wear, and his husband was very keen to keep that jacket in some manner, shape or form. So my lovely friend Anna mentioned to him that it could be nice as a bag, and she thought of me then as the person who would be able to make a bag from that jacket. So I had never ever done anything like that before, but I was incredibly honoured to be asked. So I was slightly terrified of the fabric, I'm not going to lie, and the fact that it was a lovely jacket with beautiful memories, and the fact to turn that into a bag slightly scared me. So Anna, being the very kind soul she is, took the jacket away and cut it up, cut all the panels into fabric, so it was basically just fabric that I could then work with and make something out of. And that's when I came across the Keeley bag, and I thought it'd be really perfect, because there are, in the video it shows you how to do that from an old pair of jeans, so it shows you exactly where to lay the seam line and show that it can be made out of an upcycled garment, which I thought was perfect. So that's how I managed to make this bag, because I wanted to test the pattern, because I did not want to jump straight into that wonderful fabric. So that fabric then sat in my sewing room for a number of months winking at me, and every time I looked at it I said, I have to get that bag done, I have to get that bag done, it's so important, but I wanted to do it justice. So it is very, very funny in the way the world works, because I had never worked with leather before. I didn't really know what to expect, what needle to use, what thread to use, how to handle it, what to do with the interfacing. Not that I was going to interface leather, interface a lining, all that good stuff. I was quite scared about it. But then over the summer, I had a wonderful sewing day with my lovely friend Orla, Sew What on Instagram, link it below. And we made a bag and I used some faux leather. And it's very, very funny with the way the world works. So through the skills Orla was able to teach me in making that bag, I then came home and the bag with the fabric caught my eye and said, I'm now ready to make this bag. So it's just very, very funny the way the world works. So I then set about making this leather bag for Alfredo's husband, and I really, really enjoyed making it. I made it at a sewing social because I thought that was also appropriate to be surrounded by the people he knew in the community as well. So it's the exact same as my green bag. It's got the jacket as the outer, and then it's got really, really fun fabric for the lining. It's kind of Mexican sombreros and stuff. It's fantastic fabric. It's really, really fun. And then for the hardware, I went to the little sewing tree and I got beautiful webbing to match. I think they look really, really nice together. And then of course I was able to add in his little label in the back as well. I also made the tiny little coin purse to match as well. And then because I was keen to use as much of the jacket as possible, there was the little breast pocket here, which I basically just cut around as much as I could and then backed it and turned it out through the pocket to make another little kind of keepsake pouch as well. So that bag has now been gifted this week, and I am delighted that Alfredo's husband likes it, and I'm just so happy to have been involved in that process. Absolutely honoured to be involved in that process, that jacket can now live on as a bag, and I'm just incredibly grateful to be given that honour. So thank you very, very much to all involved, and it was quite an emotive make. I'd never done anything like that before, but it's just very funny the way the world works. It really, really is that I was finally ready to do that and do it the justice it deserved. So thank you very, very much for listening to my little story about that. I think it's quite important to share those stories as well, that sewing can be very, very powerful in certain circumstances, can't it? So moving on from that, I'm afraid that goes from that story on to what else I've been sewing this week. So it comes to my shark costumes, and I have now finished both shark costumes. So here is baby French seams. Again, I'm not going to show you all of it because I'm going to do a reveal when they're wearing it, but this is baby French seams one, and then this is older French seams one, and he of course gets the zip up hoodie, so you'll see the zip at the front, and of course they have all the shark accoutrement on the back, and they're just adorable. I loved working on these, I really, really did. I was very, very happy, again, the way the world works, that I made the shark pencil cases, because the fin and the tail are basically those pattern pieces just scaled up, which is wonderful. So that's the kind of sewing that I've been doing this week. So shall we move on to my plans? So I have a number of plans. So I mentioned last week about my Christmas quilt. So I have now sent away for fabric for my beautiful quilt. So I'll pop in a picture of the quilt I'm going to be making. It's called Sandy Claus and it's by Art East Quilting, the lovely John. And as soon as that fabric arrives, I will very, very happily share that with you. Hopefully I've done... It's tricky. There's only 2 fabrics, so when you're only choosing 2 colours, it's very, very tricky, but I'm hoping the colours that I chose work out. I'll show you those as soon as they arrive. I am going to be working on my Luna backpack, which I think I mentioned last week. I didn't get a chance to join any sewing social this week, which is just terrible, so I'm hoping to join loads of them next week. I've already booked into my wonderful friend Sam, So Let's Sparkle, her weekly sparkle, so I'll link that down below. You can start your week with a sparkle, end your week with a sparkle. I just love those sessions. And then for Sew Hilly Jane as well, because the deadline is looming for the Sew Hilly Jane Pattern Club of the month, which is going to be the Luna backpack, which is a pattern by Studio 77. And I've decided on my fabric, and here is my webbing. I think you're meant to use self fabric or 1-inch webbing, but I'm totally flaunting the rules and using this magnificent webbing instead, which I picked up from Purple Stitches when I was at the Stitch Festival in March, which has to be used. My lining fabric is beautiful Tula print fabric, so I just need to interface and cut out all these pieces. So this is beautiful Tula pink fabric, which I got from Rainbow Fabric. So as a brand ambassador, I can give you 20% off Rainbow Fabric site-wide with Rachel !VIP, and that is an affiliate link. Thank you very, very much. The main fabric of the backpack is going to be this, and it is tweed, and I made a heather blazer out of this years and years ago. Very, very precious fabric that was my granny's. years ago. I'm going to make the mane out of this because I think it would look really, really nice and something a bit different. And then the base and the panel at the back are going to be this green fabric, which I think I made an Incomplete Stitches Apex tote out of years ago. But I think these are going to look really, really pretty together. I think they're going to look great. I'm going to finish it off with a little handmade, not quite sure what that was, a handmade label like this. And I've just put in an order with Little Sewing Tree for zip pulls, zips, D-rings, sliders, lobster clasps, all that good stuff. So I've been notified that's been shipped. So I will share that with you as soon as I get it. Sorry, cracking my knuckles. As soon as I get it. So they're all in the warm gold colour, which I think will look really, really pretty with this webbing. So need to get that started pronto. The other plan I have, which I think I mentioned last week, is for the knitting and stitching, which is going to be in November in north of Ireland. So I had mentioned that I wanted to make a lovely dress, and I have this gorgeous fabric that I got from Driessen Stoffen during the summer. So it's a kind of a teal viscosy fabric. I think it's really, really pretty. I think it's just lovely. And this was going to be a jumpsuit, but never got around to it. So it's now going to be a dress. And the dress I have decided on is the Davenport dress by Friday Pattern Company. This is a Davenport dress that I made years ago. So when I went back to work after having baby French seams, it was back to work because it was just after COVID and you were allowed back into the office. I decided I had to have a new dress for that, obviously. So I made the Davenport. And it is in this magnificent fabric from Beyond the Pink Door, which is incredible animals on it. So it's got the lovely flusher sleeves, full length sleeves. I think I made them full length. Does it come full length in the pattern? Maybe not. I think I made them full length. Beautiful gathered neckline here with a bit of elastic, a lovely yoke detail, gathered waist, and then these beautiful pockets. The difference I made was I didn't do a channel with a drawstring. I did elastic, and then it's got a lovely kind of flounce at the end, a kind of what do you call that? Oh my word, the word has gone from me entirely. A kind of a gathered panel. It'll come to me. Anyway, so I would like to make another Davenport dress. The differences I'm going to make are, I'm going to put in the waist channel for the waist tie, but I'm not going to do the gathered panel at the bottom. I'm just going to go straight out with the skirt, even copy something like the Tilling the Buttons Luna skirt to make it not a tiered, that's what it is, a tiered skirt. Thank you. Not going to make it a tiered skirt. I remember this being incredibly fabric hungry, and when I was cutting this out I got to the fact that you need 4 of these huge gathered panels at the end, and I did not have enough. I remember sitting on the floor downstairs cutting this out frantically on the Beyond the Pink Door website ordering more fabric. Thank goodness Andrea had it. So this is my Davenport dress, and it is going to become a Davenport dress like this for the knitting and stitching. I'm going on the Friday afternoon and I'm going all day Saturday. So if you are going and you see me, please pop by to say hello. I would love to meet you. So they are my plans. So what else shall I talk to you about? Yes, it's crochet o'clock, I believe. If you do not want to see about my Christmas crochet jumper, I will leave it there now. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I know it might have been a slightly longer video this time, but thank you very, very much for joining me, and I will see you again very, very soon. But sit tight if you want to see the update on my crochet jumper. So, and I am doing the Iron Lamb, I can never remember the name of this jumper, Festive Granny jumper or Granny Festive jumper, something like that. I'll pop in a picture here. And I'm getting quite far. So if I now show you, as always, I have to find the back. That's the back because I haven't weaved in any of the ends yet. This is now my jumper. So I have done the hem twice, and I am now starting on one of the sleeves. So you can see the sleeve is coming out here. So I've just picked up and started on the sleeve again. The reason I've done the hem twice is that this is coming up so short. I'm making a size medium. On reflection, I could have done a large, but I'm doing a medium. So what I decided was try to grade it to a large at the hips. So I don't know how to grade crochet patterns. So basically what I've done is I found a section here kind of between the decreases, and I've just made a couple more trebles to make it the number of groups that the large is at, and I don't do the final decrease. So it just kind of goes out because I need that, and I know it will come in again with the ribbing. So I've increased it. So basically I am now doing a large at the hips. I have now added in 6 extra rows of these to make it a little bit longer. It's still too short. So this was the reason I wanted to do the rib, to see how long it was going to be. I think it's still too short. So I've done a little bit of this rib at the bottom. I was a bit concerned with this line here. I'm not quite sure if that's what it's meant to look like, but I've been assured by my lovely friend Anne-Marie that that's okay. She is the font of all knowledge. And I really think that this is still too short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip the ribbing back. I'm going to rip this green row and the red and the white and the red, get back to here and add in 2 more rows of green, and then do the hem again. So I only have a little bit of this left attached, so I thought I might leave that because I have this much yarn left to do a sleeve and a half. So I'm hoping then that I do have enough to go back and do those 2 extra rows. If I don't, it's just going to be a shorter jumper. But anyway, it's so quick. Even ripping back and doing it again, it's so quick. So I am now on the sleeve, and my plan is to do the sleeve as per the pattern and see how long it is. So I am now doing, I think, maybe 6 more rows and then the hem as well. So it might actually be long enough, but if it's not, I know that I can easily rip it back, do a few more rounds, and then I know that I'll know how many rows I need to do for the other sleeve. So it's very much trial and error. Rip it back, add some more, do it again, rip it back, add some more, do it again. But even still, it's not taking an awful long time to do it. So I am now doing this most evenings. I've gone back to rewatching The Gilmore Girls on Netflix. So every evening I watch The Gilmore Girls and I do my crochet, and it is a good time. So this is the progress on my crochet jumper and I am loving it. But thoughts and prayers that I'm not going to be playing yarn chicken when I come to the end of it. But that is my lovely jumper. A lot of people have commented saying, how is it to crochet? Is it suitable for beginners? Absolutely. I think it's a really straightforward pattern. It's written beautifully. It comes together so quickly. It's a very satisfying make. If you do have any thoughts about doing a crochet garment, I would highly recommend this. I really would. Just watch the sizing. So that is what I've been getting up to this week. Thank you very much for sticking with me all through this very long video. I really do appreciate it. If you would like to leave me a comment in the comment box below, I would really love that. I would love to have the chats with you. If you like this video, I would very much love it if you give me a thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing. That would be marvellous. And I will catch you all again very soon in another video. Have a lovely week, everyone. Bye.